John, we now have a fingerprint match at the scene, a ballistics match to his gun at the scene, and the suspect's own writings. Your thoughts on the strength of this evidence and what kind of investigative work is likely still happening right now?
Right. Well, you know, the science is great, and in this case, it ends up being evidence for trial. The science didn't find this man in this particular case. You know, the fingerprints we had were partials. The ballistics we had went to a gun that didn't exist. He created that gun himself. That's what a ghost gun is. He cobbled it together from actual parts, and some he created on a 3D printer. So the ballistics we had, they were run through the system right away. There's a huge database that matched nothing. A partial fingerprint, you can't run it into a database. You'd be overwhelmed with results. It was detective work, obviously, that caught this man and produced that picture and then had the person in McDonald's point him out. Once we have him, and we have his actual fingerprints, now we can match them to the partials. And now that we have the gun, we can match it to the ballistics that was found. So the science in this case ends up going to be evidence at trial. It firms up, you know, the detective work that brought us to this man in the first place.
Yeah, Amy, in Mangione's notebook that was recovered, he allegedly wrote that he wanted to target a CEO at a conference with a gun, allegedly writing this, quote, "What do? You whack the CEO at the annual parasitic bean counter convention. It's targeted, precise, and doesn't risk innocence." Amy, what more have you and your colleagues uncovered about the suspect's distaste toward the healthcare industry?
I think there's still a lot that we still don't know. A lot about his whereabouts over the last few months and why he had this particular interest in the healthcare industry, the health insurance industry, is still unclear. But what we do know is that his family is a very prominent Maryland family, and that they have been longtime supporters of various causes, including the Greater Baltimore Medical Center, and also that they own a network of nursing homes in the area as well. And so whether any of this might have played a role in his own motivation for this is still very unclear, but what we do know is that he really did come from this sort of privileged life in Maryland.
John, it does seem that investigators have not identified a specific connection to United Healthcare directly. John, and the CEO of United Health Group, a bigger organization, the umbrella organization, Andrew Witte, is calling Brian Thompson one of the good guys. He says the best way to honor his life is to, quote, "do right by the people who've entrusted us with their care." But now we're starting to see stuff like this in downtown Manhattan, someone posting wanted flyers targeting other healthcare executives. How concerned are you, and should police be about copycat attackers?
Yeah, we should be concerned. And by the way, I read AB's article at Times, and they gave a very good, broad, and deep picture of this kid, where it came from. I said initially, the footage of the shooting, it wasn't deeply personal to the shooter regards that individual he shot. He didn't even know this man. He knew nothing about him. As you said, people say he was the good guy. And I actually think it's irresponsible for us to look at this kid who had a mental break. And he focused on the healthcare industry. He could have been focused on anything. I don't think it's so much about the ills of the healthcare industry, which there are many. I think this is about a young man having a mental break and then going and finding. But there is something, Anna, there's something here about who called him and gave him information that Brian Thompson was leaving his hotel now. He was in the right place at the right time, and he was on the phone just prior. That's something we do need to know about. And as the safety of other CEOs going forward, we really need to know how this kid got his information.
That's a good point. I think there's so many questions, about how this crime came to be, but there's also questions about the impact this crime could have looking ahead to other threats that could be out there. The NYPD's Deputy Commissioner for Intelligence and Counter-Terror actually warned about the threat environment after this attack, saying, quote, "I think regardless of what the courts determine the motivation to be, the impact is similar to that of a domestic terror attack." And that is already being reflected in this torrent of online vitriol. This one has all the hallmarks of something that is going to inspire and contribute to the contagion effect. John, how do police combat that?
Intelligence information. You have to scan the internet, personal intelligence. Again, we need to know who his cohorts were. He acted alone physically, yes, but he had intelligence information. We need to know where that came from. Did it come from within that industry? Start tracking down those leads, start looking in that direction. It could have been a hotel employee that called him that didn't know it was an assassination afoot. We need to know how he got his information. If it came from within that industry, we need to track that down as well. And, you know, like Commissioner Miller said, there could be copycats, and I do understand that the healthcare industry itself is looking at its executives and their personal security. That's something that they do need to do. But it's about intelligence information. And how do we gather that? By drilling down into this kid's resources in this incident. Where did he get the information? Where did he get that intelligence?
Amy, you mentioned Mangione's family had extensive business dealings and philanthropic influence in the Baltimore area. Did anything particularly strike you as you learned more about Mangione's background?
I think what struck me was just that, you know, that he really just sort of had what you would expect to be a sort of, you know, a kind of privileged and he was obviously very smart. He graduated valedictorian of his high school class at a prestigious prep school in Baltimore. He went to University of Pennsylvania, where he studied computer science and held several tech jobs after he graduated. And so, you know, this clearly something happened over the last few months that really sort of, as everyone that we've spoken with has sort of described him as, you know, they've been very shocked and surprised that someone like this could have turned to this type of action.
Yeah. John Monahan and Amy Chin, thank you both.